In this lesson, we are going to make this snowflake pendant. This one I made with 4mm and 3mm Swarovski crystal beads. And this one I made with 4mm and 5mm Swarovski crystal beads. I think this will be ideal size as a pendant, but since 3mm beads are very small and difficult to work with, so this lesson we are going to use 4mm and 5mm beads to make this pendant. But after you practice and then you have confidence to make the smaller pattern, you can go ahead and move on to the using 3mm and 4mm beads later. The required materials are 72 Swarovski crystal 4mm bicon style beads and 24 5mm Swarovski crystal bead in bicon style, and seed beads, size 11 seed beads, and unfinished sterling silver chain. This time I have 18 inches long sterling silver chain and 2 jump rings, 1 spring ring, 1 extender, then 3 monofilament strings. 2 of them are 20 inches long and 1 of them is 30 inches long. Then you need a flash cutter, chain nose plier, and bent nose plier. The reason why I have 2 trays in 4mm beads and 5mm beads is we are going to make 2 of this snowflake shape pattern, then put them together using the seed bead later, which means we are going to use 36 4mm beads and 12 5mm beads to make just one side of the motif. So you can put the other 2 trays on the side and so as seed beads for now, and then we can start making this one side of the snowflake pattern. We are going to use 20 inches long monofilament string to make a snowflake pattern. So first you pick 6 of 4mm beads with your right string and 6. Then this 6th one, you will pass the left string through it. Then make sure this pattern is in the middle of the monofilament string. Then, using the right string, pick 3 4mm beads, 3 4mm beads, then pick 1 5mm bead, 1 4mm bead, and 1 5mm bead. So you should have beads like this lining on the monofilament string. And now what we are going to do is using the same string, this third 4mm bead that we put, we're going to pass this same string from the bottom hole and make a square pattern like this. Then you will slide it down right next to the another 4mm beads. Then using the same string, pick one 4mm bead and pick another 4mm bead. Then pass the left string through it. So after that, your pattern should look like this. Then picking the left string with your right hand, pass this string through the 4mm bead just above this. So after that, your strings are coming out from this bead and this bead, like this. Then using the right string, this time we are going to pick two 4mm beads. Then one 5mm bead, one 4mm bead, and pick another 5mm bead. And this time you have beads, 5 beads lining up like this. There's a one less bead than last time. Now we're doing the same thing. This time we're gonna pass through the second bead from the first, then pass the same string from the bottom of this bead and make the square. Then bring this back to right next to those 4mm beads. And now using the same right string, pick one 4mm bead, pick another 4mm bead, and pass the left string through it. So after that, your motif should look like this. Make sure every time when you pass the left string through, you have 6 beads in the circle. So you have 6 beads here, 6 beads here, and 6 beads here. So if you have more than 6, you will know that you made a mistake right away. And now we just keep repeating the same pattern that we just did, but I will show you. Using the left string, pass the left string through the bead just above. Now those strings are coming out from these 2 beads. Then using the right string, pick two beads, pick two 4mm beads, one 5mm bead, one 4mm bead, one more 5mm bead, then second one from the bottom, pass through the same string to make the square, then bring this to the right next to the 4mm bead. Then pick one 4mm bead, pick another 4mm bead, and pass the left string through it. After that, your pattern should look like this. We will just repeat the same pattern, but I want to show you how it look like after every step. So I just keep making it with the same pattern. I just pass the left string through the bead just above, and two 4mm bead, one 5mm, one 4mm, one 5mm bead, then pass through the bottom of the second 4mm bead and bring it back to here. Then the second bead that you're picking up, you will pass through the left string. Then after that, your pattern should look like this. Just to show you, this one is making a real motif shape, and then you won't see the motif shape until the last step. So I will show you everything that I do, but it's exactly same pattern. So I won't talk anymore, but you can see what I'm doing, and step by step you will see the pattern that's supposed to be. So when you are making all by yourself, you can compare your shape to the shape that I made, then you will know you are at the right track. So this is the one I just made. Then next will be the last one. Last one, I just pass through the beads just above with left string. Then same as usual, two 4mm bead, one 5mm bead, one 4mm bead, and one 5mm bead. Then pass through the bottom of the second bead, and now we only have one bead left. That means we need to pick this bead up. Then we are going to use the same string, pass through this bead to come out right next to the other string right here. Then you're going to tie the square knot here. You can see the snowflake shape, and now we are going to hide this knot. But we are going to put the two motifs together later using the seed beads. So we do not want to bring any strings out towards the end of the pattern. So we just go around this center part with these strings to make sure that the knot will be secure. So you can go maybe 4 beads each. This. Do the same thing with the other side. Just going around the center part of the motif. Then, after you secure the knot, you can cut the string right next to the bead. And then you will make another snowflake motif using the another set of the beads. I just made 2 snowflakes right here, and now we are going to put them together to make it as a one piece. To do it, we are going to use the last monofilament string, which is 30 inches long. Then pick 2 seed beads with your right string. Then you're gonna pass through the bead right here, this one, from top to bottom. With the other side of the string, you're going to pass through the same bead, same position from top to bottom. Then make sure it's not stuck with other beads. Has to be in between those 2 patterns. It's difficult to see, but 2 seed beads are right here. Then make sure those 2 strings in the same length. And after that, you pick 2 seed bead with one side of the string, then pass the other one through them. So at the beginning of the weaving together, you might get a little confused because you really can't put them together well. But as much as you move on, you will see it better. But for now, it's difficult to show you about the motif. should look like this. There's 2 seed beads, and here's 2 seed beads also. And now what you're going to do is pass through the bead right next to it with one side of the string, and do the same thing with the other side of the string. Then pick 2 seed beads with one side of the string and pass the other string through them. Then do the same thing, pass through the bead just above this time, do the same thing with the other side of the string. Then pick 2 seed beads, pass through the other side of the string, and now you can start really see it. So once you get 2 patterns put together, will be easy to work on. So all you need to do is just keep doing the same thing until you will reach to the point that we just started. That's this work right here. So you need to go through this bead, this one, this. So just the outline of the beads, and then you always add 2 seed beads and move on to the next beads. I put the 2 patterns together up to here. It took a while to weave 2 patterns together, but after the hard work, you can see the very good result. It's very steady, it's very nice, solid snowflake. It's almost done. So I have the top part, the very first beads, 2 beads are here that we put. And if you are putting already finished chain or ribbon or some other materials to hang this pendant head, you can actually put in here right now. Then you can weave left of the motif together. But since I'm using the short, skinny chain, I will do that later, put through these patterns. So I will just finish putting them together. This. So what I need to do is just reach to the very last point, which is right here. Then last one, instead of passing through the beads, you just pick 2 seed beads with one side of the string, then just tie the square knot here. Then we're going to hide this knot, just passing through several beads around. You can go any direction to do it, but make sure always zigzag motion, otherwise the string will show out in between the beads and then it won't look professional. So that's the only thing that you need to be aware. Other than that, anything you can do. This one doesn't go through, so I just put this here. Then one more here. Then put this one here. Oop. Then after that, you can just cut the monofilament string right next to the beads. Then now we're going to put this pendant head attached to the chain, which is not the finished one. This will be another tip that you can remember to how to put the chain through the very small shape, space right here. You can use the leftover monofilament string and pass through the very first link of the chain and put them together. It's difficult to see, but here's monofilament string. Then you can pass through the space, in between the space that you want to put the chain through, and gently pull it. So this way you can pass through the chain to the motif very easily. Then all you need to do is using those jump rings, same as usual, using the chain nose plier and bent nose plier. I'll put the link, the hook onto the first link, then put the spring ring, then the other one, open jump ring, hook onto the first link of the chain and put the extender on it too and close it. And now you are able to make a snowflake pendant. And then before I close this lesson, I just wanted to show you something. Since we are making two separate motifs to make one pendant head, you can actually do this one. This side is crystal golden shadow, then the other side is crystal AB. So if you use two different colors, you can use it as a reversible pendant head. So that would be interesting idea. And also the first one I show you, I add some beads in between the chain. I cut the chains much shorter lengths and put more beads in between. And just making these addition can make a big design differences. So if you want to try something new, you can try to make those new style too. And also for this pattern, for the snowflakes, I highly recommend you to use AB coated beads. This one is white opal AB coated beads, and then this is my favorite. So if you have chance to use those AB coated beads, that will be very nice to make this snowflakes.